So we're going to assemble an enchanted ornament. There's two versions. In the center, these are the parts that are common to both versions. This is the main body. It's in two pieces here, and the light diffuser, as well as an ornament hanger. This part doesn't print. You can use a different ornament hanger. I really liked how ornate this one was. On the left, these are the parts that are for the version that doesn't require an LED. So with this version, then everything can be printed other than an ornament hanger, but again, you can use anything you want to hang it. So no special parts required. And then on the right here, I have, these are the parts for the LED version. So I'll talk about that more when I assemble that. And here are the tools I'll be using. I've got these flush cutters that I'll just be using for one little part. You probably don't need them, but I'll be using them here. I have these very well taken care of tweezers, some super glue, and then this is optional, just a bit of sandpaper to sand down the parts that we're going to glue together, just so it adheres a little faster, but again, optional. So we're going to start with the main body of the ornament. I had really wanted to make this part one piece, like I did with Top Secret, but due to the steep angle of the curvature here, it printed with artifacts no matter what I tried. And I really wanted this to look perfect when hanging. So I split it into two pieces, but I made it really easy to line everything up perfectly, and I'll show you how to do that. So first thing we have to do here is we need to remove this support material. It's actually just one layer around the side, so you can pretty much just scrape it off. Most of it will just scrape off. There's a little bit in the middle that you kind of have to pull. So now that I removed all those strands, I'm going to remove this center part here. This is where the peg goes in. Now that the support material is removed, you can see the outline for where the diffuser is going to be lined up and glued in. The only part that we need the flush cutters for is, you can see the diffuser sometimes prints with this little extra blob, depending on your printer and your filament. So just to make sure it all lines up, just trim that off. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna sand the surfaces that we're gluing together. I find that it can just take a little while for the super glue to adhere, especially with silk. Maybe you have a faster drying one, so you don't need to do this, or you can just be more patient than me. But we're just scuffing that up, and then scuffing up this surface as well. Now we're just gonna put a little bit of glue and we're gonna line this up. The hole in the middle is an octagon, so we just want to make sure that it's lined up with the octagon at the bottom. All right, so at this point we're gonna let this sit for a few minutes. All right, so we're ready to attach these two parts. You'll see that I printed this on a textured plate, which I highly recommend. That way there's more space for any excess glue to get absorbed instead of seeping out the sides, which you don't want, because that's going to discolor the whole thing. So I highly recommend using a textured plate. So I'm just going to put it around there. And now we're going to line it up. And just push down. So as you can see, everything is perfectly aligned. So with that, we're going to move on to the parts needed for the non-LED version. This is the version that you shine a flashlight from above to work. I do recommend, when you remove this from the build plate, to use a scraper so that it stays on at that point, because it's easier to take off cleanly in one shot. If you try taking it off from the build plate, you can get some jagged edges. Just kind of work your way around and it should come off pretty cleanly. So with that removed, all you need to do is put the peg in. Just make sure it's perpendicular and it should pop right in and be snug. So you shouldn't need any glue for that. And then this just pops right on top. So now you can hang it up. Looks like an ornament. When you want to use it, you remove that and you shine a flashlight from above when you spin it. So that was easy. We're going to move on now to the version that does have an LED. So here are the parts for that as they come off the build plate. This part has some support material we're about to remove. Again, LED key, and then this is the ring we'll be inserting. So for this, I just get something that I can kind of wedge in here to pry it. Once you got most of that off, you can then work your way to the middle here. And with that, you can usually just pry it all out. There are probably going to be some loose strands here, but no one's really going to see this part. So just remove what's in the way, and especially anything around the outer edge where we're going to put the plug. Okay. So that looks pretty good. For the plug, it looks like it doesn't matter which way you put it, but it does. One part's, so the part that prints against the build plate, where you see there's more texture, this is the part that printed face up. So this was the part against the build plate. And so this is actually a little bit smaller. So that's the part that you want to face up. So if you have texture in your build plate, it's easy to tell which way to put up, but otherwise it's the wider part that faces down. And so you can just pop this in. For some extra strength, you can glue this piece in. So then you just insert the LED. Sometimes you have to try from a couple angles to get it to go in cleanly. There we go, pops right in. And then that's it. So now, there you go. And then let's test out the LED.